Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Good evening. Thank you, Ihab. Honorable members of Parliament, esteemed dignitaries, faith leaders. It is an honor, really, to be with you tonight and among the members of our community, the Palestinian community. And I see many here from our beloved community here, most of whom are from Gaza. And I know that they have lost loved ones in the last 2 years of genocide. And it is particularly an honor that we gather in remembrance of the tens of thousands of lives lost in Israel's genocide against the Palestinian people. Let me begin by wholeheartedly thank the St. Martin in the Fields Church for hosting us tonight. Reverend Dr. Sam Wells, we truly, truly appreciate you offering your compassion, your solidarity, and your space. Nothing new for this historic place. So I truly, truly thank you for this myself. And we also thank the British-Palestinian Families Network. And you've heard the names of the powerhouse. They are mostly women, Palestinian women power behind organization and networking, for organizing today's somber event and for all the work you have been doing in the network for these very, very difficult 2 years, very difficult times, including for yourselves, for your families personally, and for everyone participating in tonight's, through your prayers, words, music, and presence. Thank you. So my friends, we use words like pain, trauma, loss, and grief because they are the only words we know and we have. But no language can truly capture what the Palestinian people have endured. I personally could not find the words. Not just in these last 2 years, but over generations. What we have witnessed in Gaza is not simply a tragedy. It was and is an engineered and executed in real time genocide, the crime of all crimes. How do we process emotions when you are simply trying to survive? The truth is, you don't. I haven't. No Palestinian has. We push it down because we know we have to survive. We carry it with us, hold it deep in our hearts, like we hold previous pain from the Nakba and before, like we hold the keys of our homes deep in our hearts since the Nakba until now. And the keys that symbolizes our unshakable commitment to our beloved homeland, to which I assure you, we were driven out from our homes and the homes of our grandparents. But when I see our younger generation, when I see the new energy, I always remember those statements by the new founding Israel, that the old will die and the young will forget. Ask the young now, and you will see the strong, actually the self-confidence of the new generation simply beats our generation and the previous generations. So my friends, what we have lived through these past 2 years is part of a century-long struggle for survival. 100 years of suffering that began here, Dr. Wells, in London, when the Balfour Declaration denied our right to self-determination, denied our very existence in our homeland, and sent 2/3 of our nation into exile. And I'm touched that because of the British people, the public opinion in this country, the millions of you in the streets, day in and day out, every week, every month, because of this unprecedented solidarity, the UK government has finally taken the long overdue decision to recognize the state of Palestine. But my friends, the genocide in Gaza is a continuation of the Nakba. Our trauma has shaped our collective memory, but so has our resilience. That is why, my friends, our story is not only about pain, it is about hope. It is about sumud. It is about justice. Because remembrance is not only about looking back. Remembrance is also a call to action, to right historic wrongs, to seek justice, to enforce accountability, and to end apartheid and occupation. Remembrance is a promise to our children and to their children. A promise to hold every state, every company, and every individual accountable for the crimes of the last 100 years. To not rest until criminals are behind bars, until the ICC arrest warrants are implemented. Because whether Israeli officials or complicit state actors, no one must be above the law. No one should escape justice. That is remembrance. Until companies profiting from the illegal entities and the so-called charities supporting these illegal colonial entities are made to completely comply with the law. Until products developed on occupied land disappear from the market. That is remembrance. That is accountability. And until the entire business of occupation and apartheid becomes a bankrupt endeavor. We honor those we lost by building a different future, my friends. A peaceful future, built on the twin pillars of justice and accountability. The future is possible, my friend. That future is absolutely possible. We must believe in it. Because what we are without hope. Hope is the only antidote to our trauma, the only heal to our trauma. It is what moves us when our grief paralyzes us. And it is what will carry us when we rise again, just as we have risen before. You know, Palestine has experienced, Reverend, with resurrection, as you know. So we will rise again. And we will rise so we may hear our children's laughter in playgrounds again, not their cries over graveyards. And we will rise stronger, tougher, and ever more defiant. So, my friends, I'd like to ask you to join me in a moment of silence for those lives that were so cruelly cut short, including the 12-year-old Huda al-Najjar, who lost half of her weight and died of a simple infection because her immune system had been decimated by months of starvation. In honor of the Abu Sha'ban family, who were killed by the Israeli forces and bombardment as they returned to their homes after the ceasefire. 11 innocent souls, mostly children, in that family in one instant. In honor and memory of around 250,000 of our innocent people, Palestinian people, killed and maimed by Israel in the last 2 years. So please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. I want you to remember this moment, my friends. The moment we all stood together and made a promise to never forget them. Never, ever forget them. We will honor their memory through gatherings like this. We will build museums and memorials and institutions and carry their names. And I see the names of our children just behind me. Thank you for providing that. That's exactly how we maintain and sustain the memory, the names, the stories, the ambitions, the friendships, the neighborhood. So we honor them by sustaining their memory and their names. We will write books and songs, and we will make films to tell their stories. And as the Palestinian ambassador, I am calling on all of you to help us to do that. But we will also continue to fight for the rights and the freedom of our descendants, of their descendants. Because remembrance is also about the living. Remembrance is not only about the dead, it is primarily about the living. And remember, it's not over. And remember that our people in Gaza are still being killed as we speak. And remember, our people in the West Bank are being killed, and their land is being stolen, and their houses are being demolished. And remember that our vow is not just about that. Our vow is to give the living a better future. So tomorrow we continue working towards fulfilling that promise, the promise of justice, of peace, of love, of laughter, the promise of a free Palestine. Thank you.